Hello, Galaxy. I think I got the timing right. Every time I see the announcement post from our Discord channel, go onto the thumbnail. Well, it's not really a thumbnail, but like the live video feed. That's when I know we're officially broadcasting. This is my second Star Wars Radar broadcast tonight. The first one apparently was going unlisted. And I thought, well, that's not going to be a very fun live broadcast if no one's able to really see it. A couple people saw it on Mixer, and one of them was saying that Star Trek was better. I'm like, you really want to start that here? Really? Had a whole little conversation with him, assumedly, and that was actually a good time to look and see what was going on with one of the feeds because we're multicasting across all the social platforms. Couldn't do yesterday's broadcast, got wrapped up, and even today was caught up in headspace. Sometimes that happens to me. I'm concentrating on solving a problem or addressing a certain set of circumstances, and kind of let time slip away. Especially when I'm like super engaged in something. Yesterday for sure, and then even today, it was pretty. I was focused, and I knew full well that I wanted to do this broadcast, and wanted to even do a separate broadcast. I'm hearing noises. Is that me? It must be me. Could be my ears still ringing from the plane ride yesterday. Wanted to do a video with my daughter. She's at the library, learning activity, which is great. In fact, my wife sent me a picture a few minutes ago. Jedi must have been surprised. You can see this look. Oh, man, it's too bright. You can see the surprised look on her face. She's looking down at this piece of paper. There's you can barely see like a smile, but the paper has you can see BB-8 and Finn and Kylo and Rey on it. So she's like, "What?" It's kind of neat. So yeah, Star Wars is everywhere. Mentioned in the earlier broadcast tonight, which I'm inclined to keep, possibly unlisted, but the action figure that I talked about the other day at 50% off at Target. Oh man, whoa! I think I pulled a muscle in my neck. I'm the only person who could pull a muscle doing a video, like a video sitting down. I'm pulling muscles. Anyway, it was 50% off. Now they're 70% off, including the Han Solo and Stormtrooper regalia. 50% off. I can't believe this. Unfortunately, they have a ton of these still left over, but I want the Han Solos, right? They don't have any of those at my Target, so I'm going to have to get out possibly this weekend to see if I can find more Han Solos. Because, I mean, they'd be, what? Half off would be maybe 70% off of, how much did it sell for? 12, 13? Low price, way low price. So as Super Awesome Geek Show points out, these are now $6 a piece as opposed to $9.99. So I had another one unopened, and so I'm thinking about returning that one, getting my money back, and then turning around and getting and exchanging it and getting a more affordable, or getting it for hecka cheaper. Hecka cheaper? Did I really say hecka cheaper? I did. Hey, Riders World, doing well, or at least well enough. Glad everybody could show up. Yeah, so my big adventure this weekend is going to be seeking those Han Solo figures. So I'm hoping that our area is not devoid of collectors, because it's actually full of collectors. And Super Awesome Geek Show knows this very well. He used to be here. And so sometimes when they find out about these deals, they snap them up before I can get there. So I'm hoping I'll be able to make all that happen and save a few bucks and still collect the same stuff, because that's quite a savings across the board. And again, with the helmets on, they make great army builders, like fantastic. Yeah, they're a little dirty, and you can see Luke under the helmet, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, very much looking forward to getting that Han Solo if I can find him, because that's one that you could just buy 4 for the price of 1 effectively. Or close to it, right? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that? Although, if you live in the Seattle area, don't do it until I've had a chance to get there. That would be great. Riders World, congratulations. How should I say this? How did Obi-Wan say it? You have just taken your first step into a much larger world, and say goodbye to all your extra dollars. Because that's what happens with Star Wars collecting. Once you pop, you can't stop. You can't just have one. That's the bigger problem. Hang on, Diana's sending me another photo here. I don't think she's watching the stream. What'd she send? Hang on, let me see what she's got. Oh, so Jedi, of course. Jedi is eating a plate of Oreo cookies to showcase like moon phases. I guess they're learning moon phases by eating Oreo cookies. I can tell you why she likes this library. She's going to want to go back there every day, which is great. Anything I can do to encourage reading, that's awesome. Hello, Sonic the Plays. Good to see you. Or meet you virtually. What else did I have today? So I was busy yesterday. I haven't had a chance to dive deep on things, in the Star Wars community. So certainly, if anybody out there has seen anything that I haven't, the big news was really that the price dropped even further. I did get, if I didn't mention this, I got the greatest hits box. The greatest hits. I never imagined there being a greatest hits, but I think calling these figures the greatest hits instead of archive would have been way more interesting. Okay, so I'm going to pull out this one. Try to keep a good card. Can't tell because everything's in there, but this is the Biker Scout or Scout Trooper, originally released in 2014 with a speeder bike. I did have that, so he's a little bow-legged. I can tell you that much right now. And thank you, by the way, for following across social, but certainly on Mixer. But I have the other figures in the box. I don't want to tear through them all in one night, but I think we'll go ahead and tear open this archive figure. This is also one that if I were to find it on the shelf, I would probably snap it up. Can't have too many of these. Not sure when we're going to see the Black Series 6-inch again. Maybe we'll get a TVC reissue. Not going to worry too much about the card. I don't hold on to all the cards. Hang on. I always choose the wrong time to open these figures because I clip my nails like the day before. Regular Oreo are vegan. Are the lemon yellow Oreo vegan? Yeah, most of them are. It's just junk, but yeah, most of them are vegan. For whatever it's worth, I know people think I'm crazy that way. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive. And I never had lower cholesterol in my entire life. Plus, I did one of those calcium score tests where they see the calcium build up in your arteries. And if you're at 100, that's a potential sign of a future cardiac event. So I took this test of basically plaque buildup in my arteries effectively. The hard stuff, the calcium, 0. Perfect score. Let me tell you, I've eaten a lot of junk in my life. But it's been suggested that flipping to a whole food plant-based diet by and large could do that. Minimizing your oil intake could do that. So it is true. So y'all can make fun of me all you want. My calcium score tests don't lie. All right. Let's see here. This one doesn't seem to have the bow leg problem that the one, which I wouldn't imagine, because this one wouldn't necessarily have to sit on top of the speeder bike. Like I said, I hesitate to even move it where it's standing up, because getting it to stand up in the first place is a bit of a challenge. Just repositioning his leg. But yeah, he'll stand and he'll straddle, but it's a bow-legged problem because he was designed to sit atop the old one. The one that was released in 2014, designed to sit atop the speeder bike. So, yes, you can get a test done like that. It's about $100. Insurance won't cover it, but you can go just about anywhere and just look up calcium score test. It's an easy way of finding out, basically your risk, because it'll tell you how much calcium buildup, which is the indicator that you're gonna have you have problems. You're gonna have a problem with your heart. And like I said, the way to fix it is, as I pointed out, flipping vegan, which doesn't solve all the problems. You still got to avoid oil. But sorry, John brought all this up, so I'm just geeking out on that. And I've made the posit in the past that Jedi, I wonder if Jedi are vegan, right? Because they're not supposed to harm any living creature. So would that make them vegan? Just a thought. Not to ruin everybody's day. It's not so scary. I do not sell these troopers. I don't sell the figures. Other people do. I usually just pick them up from online retailers. There we go. I was wondering if that was going to focus. It is going well, Marvelous Mars. It is going marvelously? Can I say that? I think I just did. But yeah, this is out of all the figures that get released, I'm always super thrilled with the troopers. Always will be. Always will be. Um, the they released the AT-AT driver. I was happy about that. I'm very happy about at least being able to get another one of these. I missed the Shadow Trooper. That's the one thing I would love to see a reissue of. The Shadow Trooper and the Shadow Biker Scout. There were two. There were one of these that was all black, and then a Stormtrooper all black, Shadow Trooper. And those were also at a time that I wasn't like really necessarily into the scale. And I got into the scale. I'm like, all right. Some of these are pretty cool, you know. The Phantom Menace came out. I'm sorry, not the Phantom Menace. The Force Awakens came out, and I'm like, all right, they're going after these things. All right, this is pretty cool. All right, this is kind of fun. And then that was forever did it dominate my destiny. So now we have this to add to the collection. This will stand up over yon. I've got a section on a shelf for some of the biker scouts that I have. Not well, maybe all of them that are loose. But like I have like these micro collections, right? Because I don't chase biker scouts. I'll get them, you know, right, if I see them. But like most of what I would collect is largely prevalent in the collecting world. Darth Vader. So everything pretty much in view. These shelves, these deeper shelves, those shelves, ones you can't see from this angle, it pretty much dominated by Vader. So, no, that's funny. That's funny. Is one of these Fortnite figures? Not a Fortnite figure. Believe it or not. Not Fortnite. It's funny that you would ask that, but no. It kind of maybe that shows my age and your age if you think this is Fortnite. I'd imagine the title of the broadcast would kind of give it away. Like, maybe I should title it, instead of Star Wars Radar, how about not Fortnite Radar? Would that kind of help? Anyway, not Fortnite though. I tell you what, I've never played Fortnite. That said, I do want to do it, and I will do it in potentially in association with what I'm doing at Intel. That's, you know, what I do every day is work for Intel, specifically Intel Graphics. We're building the community, basically taking feedback for our GPU products, software, hardware. If you have feedback on what you want to see from a GPU, hardware and or software, you let me know. I basically report it back to the team. We close the feedback loop. We give you what you want. Everybody's happy. Can't make promises, but I can just say that I'm closing that feedback loop. That's one of the reasons why I'm there, is to listen to you. So I've seen the figures, and I'm like that's kind of a cool figure, but I mean I've never really played the game, so it'd be kind of weird to get a figure. I've never really done that. There have been some figures out there, I mean, for games or whatnot, that I'm like, well, that kind of looks cool, that have compelled me to look a little deeper into things, because I find the way that the characters are constructed, or the way the toys are constructed, to be interesting. They look fun. So I'm more interested, I know I'm the anomaly, I'm more interested in the Fortnite toys than I am the actual video game. I know I'm doing it wrong. Don Draper says, the one thing that has always annoyed me about the Scout Troopers is the visor and the helmet. Seems like a bad idea for it to be cut out in the size like the peripheral vision. You know, I don't know. It must be made to focus. But I personally, I just love the design. Like the first time I ever saw this character in Return of the Jedi, or this type of character. Oh, look, it's got it even has a holster for its pistol on it in its on its boot. That's cool. I just saw that. I'm not sure if the original version does, but super articulated. Obviously, I mean, you probably know everything about the figure. Yeah, no, there's just something about the ethos of that helmet that was just like, whoa, cool. I liked. It'd be hard to rank the vintage original trilogy troopers, but out of all, I mean, I fell in love with the AT-AT driver. Not first time I saw him on screen necessarily, but because he was the first Star Wars figure that I still collected, right? So that's another one of those chases. I would say AT-AT driver, biker scout, stormtrooper, like a classic Imperial stormtrooper, snowtrooper, and then the First Order stuff. I mean, I'm vintage that way, right? The clones, I liked Phase 2 way more than Phase 1. I never liked the Phase 1 clone design ethos. But yeah, for some reason, and maybe it's because the Phase 2 was closer to the design ethos of the stormtroopers as we knew them growing up. But yeah, phase 2 are definitely, if I have my clones, those are definitely my clones, so to speak. Oh, Don, yeah, don't worry. I'm not taking it. I nitpick things all the time, so don't even worry about it. Any idea on what the Sith Chalice is at Galaxy's Edge? Sith Chalice? Did I miss that? There's a Sith Chalice? How did I not know that? How did I not know that? There's something going on? Okay, now I gotta look it up. Don't tell John, though, because he's just gonna get upset. Sorry, John. Super Awesome Geek Show. Because he's gonna have to get one more thing at Galaxy's Edge. And apparently that chip that I was talking about like 2 weeks ago, it's like a gift card. If you you can put $100 on a special gift card at Galaxy's Edge. If I'd have known that, I'd have done it. It'd been a special collectible. It's crazy. So Marvelous Mars says, look it up. Okay, I will. I've watched some of the new movies. I don't like it no more. That's okay. You don't have to like it. That's the thing. To be a Star, in my mind, if you enjoy some bit of Star Wars, you can be a Star Wars fan. You just can't. The one thing you can't do is take away from somebody else's enjoyment of it. You can't. Just because I don't read the books doesn't mean that someone else can't enjoy the books and enjoy that as their fandom. Listen to you loving that helmet. I don't know if I understand what it is you're saying. Okay, Sith Chalice. Oh, it's coming up as a search. Okay, how did I miss this? Oh, it was a purchase from Doc Ondar's. See, I told you, Doc Ondar's is just like gems left and right. And I even found out they're chance cubes that they sell at the Toydarian toy shop. I almost got the data storage unit USB. I thought it was kind of overpriced for what it was, or what I might use for it, because I wouldn't use it. The Jedi figurines were cool. Wow, they took a picture of everything here. Oh, I missed those. Naboo headcrest headdresses? I missed those. How did I miss those? Wow, this is a very detailed blog post. Okay, hang on. So I'm just going to do a search for Chalice. Sith Chalice. I must have seen it, but totally didn't see it. Like, in terms of, I looked past it. Sith artifact. Oh my god, $200 for a Sith Chalice. See, that's something that it'd be neat, but I couldn't justify that cost for myself. I just couldn't. As much as it would be neat to have as a collectible, there are a few things here that'd be, like I said, neat to have, but I just don't know if I could justify the costs in terms of my appreciation of what it is, or where I might enjoy it, or how I might enjoy it. Everybody's got, like I said, those different thresholds. Like, they're looking for something different. There were more things that I didn't want compared to what I wanted. There's a Darth Vader cup that sells for $25 that I wanted, but I knew it was ceramic and the chances of it getting damaged in transit were high, so I skipped it, basically. I was like, no, there's no chance. So let's see here. Yeah, if Clear Space, if you like the Phantom Menace, man, knock yourself out. No one's definitely going to slag you for that at all. I won't. 1 to 10. And by the way, thank you, Heavy Great Metal, for following there on Mixer. 1 to 10. How is good is Galaxy's Edge? I'd be a total fan if I said 10. I'll give it a solid 9. My time there, I wish, was longer. I wish I could have bought more. Certainly. I mean, I'll go back. When John goes, I'm like, ooh, get this, get that. Hopefully he'll have enough space. Well, he'll live locally. Hopefully he'll be able to carry it all. I don't want to keep him from getting the things that he wants. But there's a lot of things that I definitely would want to get if I had a chance to go again. Hey 3D printing with Heath, your 3D printed Darth Vader is coming along. Looks wonderful. Looks awesome. Taylor Gagnon, awesome. Nice to see you. You're not late. Never late. But I don't want to miss the question, because there was another one in there. I thought, maybe I did get it. Oh, someone was saying the cost. Hang on. Someone was asking a question: is how do you justify the cost? I think, and to me, it's relative, right? Number one? What's expensive to one person is not expensive to somebody else, right? But to me, it's relative. Is it worth? Would it be worth, for my enjoyment? Would it be worth $25? Like the Sith Chalice? Yeah, possibly. 200. Even the things that I might really, really want, I don't know if I could justify the cost. So, like the Dejeric chess set that I talked about, it was $50, and I struggled with it because I knew it was going to be heavy and it would potentially take up too much space in the suitcase. But it worked, and I don't regret getting it at all. I do not regret getting it at all. Oh, John has a whole car trunk. Yeah, woo! So it looks like I'll be doing another haul courtesy of the Super Awesome Geek Show at some point in the future. My Doc Ondar video kind of took off. It's got like 30,000 views on my channel, like, which is crazy. It's a runaway hit. And I'm trying to tell people, hey, look, I'm doing other Star Wars stuff every day. Come on, subscribe. So thank you for following on any platform where we can talk about Star Wars stuff. Happy to kind of facilitate that. And by the way, Heath, let me know. Like, I was serious about, like, I don't know how we stage it, but like, if you've got video that I could upload, like unique video that I could upload to my channel to tease yours, as well as to say what you're working on and what it is or whatever. I don't know how people do 3D videos, but I'd be very happy to upload it. I'd be very happy. If my channel was nothing, my personal channel was like nothing but 3D printed Star Wars stuff, I'd be okay. I just don't 3D print. I don't design. I'm not a CAD user. I never was. So it's funny. Do I have the Black Imperial Guard figures? So you're talking about the Shadow Guard, and yes, I have. I opened it the other day. The 6-inch. I also have the 3 3/4 inch. The Lego version of the Shadow Guard, the Microforce version. I want to say they also made a Command version of the Shadow Guard. Those are the ones that I have. I don't think they ever made any, like a 10-inch version of it. And right now, to my knowledge, the Shadow Guard is still EU. I don't think it's canon, but of course it's an absolute fan favorite. I don't know if they're ever going to reissue it either. That's why I bought it, the when I got it, the four pack GameStop exclusive for like $20. I got a couple because I'm like, that's the only way I'm going to be able to get that one. The only way. So do you do like a 3D print? Do you do like, I have to ask, 3D printing with Heath? Do you do like a Star Wars model like every day? Like, I don't know how people. I mean, I don't watch 3D printing videos. I'm not in. This is what I would want in a 3D printer. Look, a model print. Like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to worry about filament. And I know people say, "Oh, it's easy." I'm like, for you. Like, I just want to know that if I see like this little like oops, I should never move these because they always fall over. Like a Darth Vader, even though this is a very old sculpt, an old model. Like, say, "Oh yeah, 3D printed Darth Vader pencil holder." Yes, print. And then not worry about it. But, I haven't gotten that far. I haven't seen anything close to that. So I leave it up to, like, people like Barnacles or 3D printing nerd, Joel, telling, both local, by the way, to the Seattle area. And, in fact, Joel gave me Barnacles gave me those, and Joel gave me a 3D printed Darth Vader head as well. So I tell you, 3D printing with Heath, you keep doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. So that offer's open. I don't know how we work on it, how we do it, but like, I bet you anything people would love it. I don't know what the pitch would be, but I think people would wonder. I do, because I know I've got a very geeky audience. It's one of the reasons why I like doing these kinds of videos, if only because I love talking about Star Wars. I don't think it gets any geekier than that, right? 3D printing Star Wars stuff. I think that's where it gets geekier. And by the way, thank you, Brycicle. I love that. That's a great name. Brycicle 4. I don't know what it means, but it just sounds good. 420. Welcome aboard. Writer's World, you say, thank you. Or you like the Star Wars cup? Yeah, this is, I like getting these plastic cups. They usually sell for like 99 cents. I mean, especially with Jedi's Age, we really don't want to be playing around with, a glass. They're very widely available. You'll see some of them, sometimes I'll bring up, will be really, really, like marred and tattered, like in terms of the paint job, because they've been washed so many times. The trick with these is not scrubbing them. You can put them in the dishwasher, they should be fine, but using a soft sponge to clean them off, and then the paint should stay, indefinitely. You see some chips here, not that they're collectible, but 99% of what we drink out of around here are the plastic cups. We have tons of them because we usually grab like 3 or 4 at a time. And tons of them, too. Like, some that I wish I had better versions of. Some I saved. Like, the Vader ones. I've definitely saved and not necessarily used, or made sure I had an extra one saved, on the side for that stuff. Obo, hang on. I am really gonna mess up your name, so I'm just gonna go with Anubis because I think what's flanking Anubis is just design, so that's cool. The upcoming Star Wars movie is the last great comeback for Star Wars, for Walt Disney. Here's my feeling. My feeling is Disney has yet to shine, and that's my feeling. What am I drinking? I'm drinking some Jawa juice. I will leave it at that. Here's my feeling, and I'm glad you brought that up. This is a great topic, right? Disney. I don't think Disney's had a chance with Star Wars, and to take this beloved franchise and try to move the ball forward is difficult to do because so many people have known it for 40 years, right? And we love it for what it might have been, and now we're 40 years older, and it's different, and I'm not even saying it's changed. It's just the context of the movies as they were, kind of a marker of their time, and allegories, were replete throughout the original trilogy, and even the newer trilogies have different allegories, and the prequels as well, and all these parallels to our galaxy, right? Which makes them relatable, certainly. But Disney right now is shackled to the idea of and I will get to your other questions here. Okay, quickly. What are your prized Star Wars things? I love the figures. So, honestly, I'm just as happy with this as I am many others. I do like, some vintage more than modern, and I like some modern more than vintage. So I don't make those distinctions. Did I see the Cantina containers? I didn't even get into the Cantina, unfortunately. But it's not blue milk, Calyx. I did try it. It was good. Got the video to prove it. So it's not that Anubis. Let me try to finish this thought, because this is a very important topic of conversation. Disney is shackled to that which we understood Star Wars to be in mass media, and the onus is on them to kind of bring that out of the idea that every movie has to be a trilogy, or has to be a part, or has to touch to the Star or to the Skywalker name. And that, I think, has got me most excited about the new trilogy, because I'm not saying I'm done with the Skywalker stuff, but I would have been okay. I would have been okay if Disney would have not shown us what happened to the characters that we knew and loved. I would have been okay with that. And I know we would have missed out on some, amazing things, like, obviously Carrie Fisher and her last appearances in film. But Disney's shackled to that as part of our culture. And that's what they were trying to do with Rogue One. That's what they're trying to do. They tried to do with Solo, and Solo is so underrated. Solo was fantastic. Come at me, bro. Solo was amazing. And I was skeptical about Aaron Reich's portrayal, but I thought everything in Solo resonated on every level that Rogue One did not for me. And I liked Rogue One. It just should have been a miniseries. So that brings me to what I wanted to say. Now, hey, Cheesy Sword, glad you were able to make it. Disney, watch what happens with The Mandalorian. That, to me, is Disney's first chance to effectively take Star Wars where it could go, where it always had the promise to go. Think about it. The first longer form mini-series, in the galaxy far, far away, with familiar sights and sounds, but maybe not characters, maybe not planets, but still, we now have a chance to really take the medium that we've kind of been, not forced, so to speak, forced to enjoy, but the medium that we enjoyed, film, and explore it in a different way. And this, to me, is the promise that Disney's laying out. That's my opinion. I do have high hopes for The Mandalorian. I'm probably more excited about that than I am The Rise of Skywalker. because I like that kind of storytelling. I like the longer form, the miniseries, like Agents of Shield. Like I've been wanting an Agents of Shield for Star Wars for the longest time. Happy that they're doing a Cassian Andor, diving deeper into his character, which may lend more context to Rogue One, which would make me appreciate it even more, adding more depth. So that to me is the story. Disney hasn't. They've had a chance. But again, they're shackled to our cultural understanding of Star Wars' trilogies and Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. And it's so much more than that. It has a chance to be so much more than that. They didn't throw away the book series. So, and I've talked about this before, but you bring it up, they didn't throw it away. They said, this is now Legends, and this is now canon. And they did that for the right reason. Because you can't just throw a total Star Wars noob into the massively unwieldy expanded universe and expect that they're going to understand it. Moreover, again, it kind of handcuffed Disney to restrict their ability to be creative because it was so unwieldy with conflicting stories and fun weirdness. But to Disney's credit, they didn't wipe it out. So they didn't say you can't like Legends. They never said you couldn't like it. And they've dipped into Legends more times than I can count. Man, Thrawn was like a central character in the final Rebels series. What more do you want? They brought Thrawn to life. They brought him into canon. So they didn't throw it away. They dipped into it. I'm sorry. I'm not sitting here as a Disney apologist either. I'm just being realistic. I don't mind the direction Disney's taking. That's me. You're entitled to your own opinion, but you got to give them credit where credit's due. Rey going to be a gray Jedi, pull Kylo out of the dark. That I'd be fine with. See, I think that would be fantastic. Because we've got to think of the nuance that Luke laid down, and I thought his arc, despite a lot of the pushback, I thought his arc was realistic, true to his character, and it was a fitting end, knowing that he's human, not superhuman, and he didn't want to fall victim to, as he put it, the hubris of the Jedi Order, and but he didn't want to be a part of something to make things worse. And so now Rey has a chance to effectively take what she feels and try to build from that, using her belief structure and knowing full well that, maybe it isn't, Jedi versus Sith, but it could be very well just be light versus dark. And ultimately steering towards the light is the right direction to take, because that's what works. So I hope that we see more of Rey possibly looking at the sacred Jedi texts, but also pulling from it and not dedicating her life to dogma. And so I think the Gray Jedi in Ahsoka set the tone perfectly. Oh, I can't wait for the next Clone Wars series, or really probably the final series or season in the series coming later this year. But yeah, like in Rebels, she's no Jedi. And I think it's great. I think we need to see way more of Ahsoka too. That's me personally. So Cheesy Sword mentions that he reads nearly everything, and that's true. He's like giving us book reports. Is constantly bringing characters and locations from Legends and fitting them well into the new canon story. That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't throw it away at all. Yeah, the Mandalorian. Not to say there's more. I have more hype for it. I have high hopes for it because I want it to work. I desperately want it to work because I think Star Wars could be even better. Star Wars as a fandom, as a phenomenon, as a story, could be better if there were more live action series than there were films. That's my opinion. And I like films. I do. Look forward to them. The hype is real. But I want more character development. I want, not across film, I want regularity, right? I don't want to wait every 3 years for a film. Like, crank it out, man. Like, if it's a dream, but like one new Star Wars season and or show, like a miniseries every quarter. I'd be thrilled. Okay, if I can't get that every 6 months, I'd be okay. Every year, too much of a dry spell. Too much of a dry spell. So I'm hoping they'll get into that cadence with Disney Plus. It's a chance. It's a chance they didn't have before, and I'm very happy they have it. Very happy. Salad von Bako. I always do that. Ray. I'm sorry. You mentioned. Have I read Bloodline? I have not, by Claudia Gray. She's definitely done quite a bit for the fandom. I have not, nor have I read Delilah, her books. I know it's been applauded by people who do read the books, but I tend not to be someone who does read the books. I read the comics, of course, watch all the media, listen to media, collect naturally, and maybe that would probably, because what the characters you read in the book, it's in your imagination, which is great, but I think that's where I wish there was tie-over, and this is one of the things that I really regret about not getting the comic series, number one, because they were amazing from Legends, before they were known as Legends. Amazing characters that otherwise we wouldn't necessarily have gotten. But I wish they would do that with the new comic series. I mean, they got the Afra run, right? With the 000 and BT1. I wish that the books also had corresponding figures, because that might make me more interested, because then when I see the figure, I've got an emotional connection with the figure, or I know more about that character, right? Like I can remember the scout troopers in the movies, right? I can barely remember the characters from the Droids cartoon series, right? But I remember the Chief Chirpa and the Ewoks, right? So no, Dragon's Lord, I am not. Have you seen? Obviously someone doesn't know much about me. Aw, poor little guy. I do want to emphasize little, but that's okay. You can do your research on your own. Definitely not a virgin. So listen to the audiobook. Yeah, but even then, the audiobook, I like having those physical reminders, not just the books. For me, that everyone's got a different touch point. Like I want a figure. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm gonna say it. I'd be happy with that at all. In terms of like any type of opportunity to really get to know the character, and then be able to kind of rediscover the character, like as I see it again. Oh yeah, that book, and it reminds me, right? And I see it, and it just kind of reinforces it, over and over and over again. So let's see here. Disney read Claudia Gray books. Well, yeah, I mean, it's possible. So it's entirely possible that they could adapt any one of those things to like a long form like content series, or even bringing them into comics, right? And I think I'm more visual, and I do like books. Don't get me wrong. I like spurring on the imagination, but there's just something about that just doesn't it doesn't hit home with me. It doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry, little man. I have absolutely nothing to prove to you, Dragon Lord. You buy hard copies of the Thrawn books? Yeah, I remember what was it? What was the arc? This is like, what was it? Kevin J. Anderson? Wasn't it Kevin who brought Thrawn, or was it? God, now I'm really that go way back. I remember. It's like, but I don't read books frequently enough, or like commit them to memory. I just remember bits and pieces because I never got into them. I would read one or two onesie twosies, and just never, because then you had like a whole library, and like I can't keep up with this, right? I'm like, what do I? And I wasn't a reader. I mean, I was a reader, yes, but not. I'm more visual. I'm more comics. But see, that's the thing about the fandom, is like, you can be exposed to one thing and enjoy another. You can get a deeper understanding or a better understanding and still enjoy that one part without necessarily having to take in everything. There's something for everybody, which is just great. It's just fantastic. I don't know if I'd go as far as buying Thrawn books, but I was thrilled that they released the 5 POA updated like version based on Rebels. I had the old one, minus the Isilmiri. How do you pronounce that? The thing Isilmiri. I should probably listen to the audiobook to get the pronunciation. And then, of course, the Thrawn 6-inch figure was equally as epic. But yeah, I mean, those are, those are cool. Like, those are, I never like, but then again, like I mentioned before, I'm not as much of a fan of those with human likenesses. But you color them blue or green, I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. I don't know if we're ever going to see like a Thrawn live action, but that would be nice to see. It would be, we had the Thrawn comic, of course, getting a bit of a backstory, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to go much deeper than what we saw. Star Wars games is another part of the fandom that I just never got into. Lightly, dipped my toe, but never really got like deeply into it. I think I now it's changed because I like I said, I've been getting the production stuff together. And then, of course, Jedi Fallen Order is coming out. I can't wait for that. I'm like, so excited. So one of the games I really want to get the Jedi the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic. I want to get that working, and I for some reason the PC just keeps crashing, and I don't know why. And I'm like, I really want to play it. I want to stream playing it for the first time. All the classics that you might have played before that I never did. Right? It's funny. Or even Battlefront, the original Battlefront stuff. Oh, okay, Cheesy Sword. I did not know that they adapted the Thrawn comics based on the first canon Thrawn book. I did not know that. Makes it even better. That's awesome. What do I think of R2-D2 Galaxy Edge? I think some people have money to burn. Chances are, of all the Star Wars stuff that I've collected, I could have bought one R2-D2 like that, but I'd be just so much happier with all this rather than just one R2-D2. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do it. The one thing that I saw that I'd love is that Gentle Giant. It's $2,000. The Gentle Giant, like vintage Darth Vader figure or figurine. I would love that. That if I could find a place for it. See, that's the thing. I would love it. Where would it go? Like that would be so cool, so cool, so amazing. You know which one I'm talking about? I took a picture of it too. It's at Launch Bay, Disneyland. It's the like it's not to scale, but like a huge Darth Vader, like vintage 5 POA figure. That's a statue. I'd be so happy. I was debating car or R2. Wife said neither. Oh, yeah. See, that's a tough proposition. Why not both? Make an R2-D2 car. Someone did. Like they painted a car. They have a car wrap company, and they did. Do I think Filoni will finish the Thrawn Ezra thing? Salad Von Bako. That's another thing, another exploration of a live series that I think if we saw Thrawn in live action series, that would be really cool to see Ezra kind of jump out of the cartoon. Both of them jumping out of the cartoon. I don't know how they'd pull that off because, they'd probably have to be close to one another. Initially, like crash landed on some deserted planet and having to rely on each other, kind of like an enemy mine. That would be an interesting exploration, I think, like an enemy mine type, which is, by the way, one of the better sci-fi movies to ever come out of the 80s. Like, if you've never seen Enemy Mine, do it. You owe it to yourself to watch Enemy Mine. It's timeless. It's still a wonderful movie, and I haven't even seen it in years, but it's a solid movie. I'm not sure where they're going with Ezra's overall story arc. I'm not even sure if we're going to hear from him again. If we did, like I said, it could be the Thrawn, what happened with him and Thrawn, or it could be, Sabine and Ahsoka going after him or trying to find him in that adventure. But I don't know if it's ever going to happen again in a show, at least. Maybe in a comic, but I'd be shocked if they brought it to a show. Something is the scope of that into a show. I could be wrong. 3D printing with a Heath said, out of all your Star Wars stuff, what's your favorite one? Just pick one. Oh, it's my first action. It's the first Star Wars figure. This is my answer. It's a common question, but yeah, there's no question, no doubt in my mind. That's the thing that I would say started it. The vintage AT-AT driver. That was it. That led me down this dark path. Forever did it dominate my destiny. Fun fact of the day, red kyber crystals are not something found naturally. All red kyber starts as regular Jedi's crystal that has been tainted by a Sith. And then even Ahsoka, she'd mentioned in the Holocron broadcast, when you put a red crystal in, possibly, that hers turned white. When she basically put the crystals in her lightsaber blades, they turned white because she's neither Sith nor Jedi. True story. Calyx, as much as a remake might be great to see, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to see a remake of it. Because there's just some movies that I don't. It was good. It doesn't. That's a movie that does not need to be remade. In my humble opinion, I don't think it plays so well. Maybe the special effects are dated, but the story was so good. The acting was so good. I mean, it was just good. It was solid all around. Like I just would I watch a remake? Sure. Do I think it needs to be done? Absolutely not. Is it ever going to come back? I don't know. But it to me easily I think it's written off. But like I wonder how did Enemy Mine rate? Probably horribly, but yeah. See, Rotten Tomatoes 60%. Roger Ebert 2.5% or 2.5 out of 4. IMDb 6.9 out of 10. I disagree. I disagree with those ratings completely. Like if you were to say, Chris, what are your favorite sci-fi movies? If I was really thinking about it, Enemy Mine would make the list. The Fifth Element would make the list. Like I said, Star Wars would make the list, right? Because I can't pick my favorite. Like people, what's your favorite? I don't have one. It's all of it. I mean, there's certain ones that I just really, really, really enjoyed, like over and over and over and over again. So good to see you, the Star Wars banter. Glad you could make it. Sorry it's a little late. It's now pushing into 7:18. Checking here. Oh wow, hang on. I've been broadcasting for 45 minutes. Wow, we've been talking Star Wars a lot, haven't we? And it looks like Jedi's not coming home anytime soon. She's got, looks like she's got some kind of wand or lightsaber. I can't really, the quality of the picture is a little low. But she's having fun doing like crafts and learning at the library with stars behind her. You can see that. But so she's not here, so I can't do the other live video of like BB-8 candy. So it looks like Jedi and I are going to be doing a video tonight at like 9 p.m. live in my personal channel. How that's going to work. We're very flexible parents, like sometimes we go to bed at 11 o'clock. Sometimes we don't. Just depends on the day. Logans Run is great. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. I finally watched Logans Run. It was on Netflix, and I'm like, it's not just dated. I'm like, I get it, but it was not just dated. Painfully dated. Like I can sit through and watch A New Hope, not just because I enjoy it, but it works. Like it was amazing. And these two were produced like within just a few years of each other. But Logan's Run, as interesting as it was, like the idea, the premise, was just so painful. Like I suffered. It's just like I kind of know where it's going, but like where's it gonna go? And I just couldn't make. I struggled to get all the way through it. Struggled. So I disagree. Let's see. Hang on. Now we're gonna test the internet here. Logan's Run. Yeah. See, look, it scored better on Rotten Tomatoes. What is wrong with Rotten Tomatoes? Boom, 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 boom. Like, what's going on? I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. Well, okay. Put it in perspective. Some of the Planet of the Apes movies are enjoyable, even though they're obviously very, very dated. They're still enjoyable. Logan's Run was so bad. It was just so. I was like, I can't do this. I get it, but I'm like, I don't get it. Space 1999. Don't know if I've ever watched it, or believe it or not, 2001, or I couldn't. I not that I haven't had the opportunity. It just hasn't happened. And see, that's the thing is like, if I watched those as a kid, I would have different memories about them than watching them as an adult. And that's so much, even with Star Wars. It's like, I try to say that, talk to people, when they say, oh, the Phantom Menace was horrible, it ruined or Disney ruined the, I'm like, yeah, but they didn't, because now it's a Star Wars for a different generation. And we can't go back and have that time again. And so just try to watch it through a kid's eyes, and you can enjoy it differently. And that, which is difficult for a lot of adults to do, but it's possible. Like, you just watch these things through a kid's perspective, and suddenly they are enjoyable. And that, honestly, I gotta say, brought a lot more appreciation on my part for the prequels. When Diana watched them for the first time, I just appreciated them differently. So sometimes, doing it that way can change your perspective. Because let's say you're having a bad year and a Star Wars movie comes out. Maybe it's great, or maybe it's just like you're just not in the mood and it just doesn't resonate like it would. And then because you're not in the right mood. It's true. Like, if you ever been in a bad mood and you're trying to cheer yourself up, so you try to do something that you like and then you just can't find any enjoyment out of it, or you're just not in the right headspace for it, even if it's something you love. I think the same thing can happen. Especially with Star Wars. Like, I think it's your so much of your enjoyment is contingent on your age, what's going on in your life, other stuff that might be you pulling you one direction or another, and I think that's going to impact any kind of entertainment experience. That's my opinion, though. So yeah, Cheesy Sword, Phantom Menace came out when you were a kid. See, that's the thing. You had a different Star Wars than I did. I like it, but I like it differently. And I don't, and it's not like I have a favorite, I just don't. Like, people ask frequently, like, what's your favorite? I'm like, I don't have a favorite. It's all the same to me. It's all like one and the same. It's just enjoyed differently. I like talking about it. That's my favorite. Talking about it. And if only to learn new things and broaden my horizons, expand my perspectives, be challenged on convictions. Like, I remember Jason Ward from Making Star Wars, we were on a broadcast together, and he said, many people don't know that the Jedi in Return of the Jedi was Anakin Skywalker. And I'm like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, but I always thought it was Luke, right? He's returning, to face Vader. He says, no. It's Vader, having been a Sith. He's returning. So it's the return of the Jedi. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, it was a total mind bender. I'm like, and now, I never saw the title differently. So only having these conversations with fellow fans kind of gives me that chance to just, think about something differently. I don't mind doing that. I'm not. There are very few things that I'm like resolute on. Like, I have strong convictions, but I'm easily convinced if you can make if you make your position very clear instead of just making it a write off. So that's the thing. It's kind of hard to have sometimes, especially with the internet. Sometimes you don't get like intelligent discourse, and you end up having to play to the lowest common denominator. But how you doing? Huge blue crayon, interesting handle. I don't have any crayons within reach. I've got a carved crayon. There's a guy who does that on Etsy. He carves crayons. So I got one of his first Darth Vader crayons that he carved. Now he does different ones, but let's see here. You'd love to see me review Space Odyssey 2001 as it influences all modern sci-fi. It's possible. I wouldn't turn down the proposition. Like, if it was just sitting there on the surface, I'd be like, all right, like, okay, let's give it a shot. Just like Logan's Run. I was like, okay, I've heard enough about this. Let's see what it's all about. But I know enough about it to be culturally relevant. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I can't do that or something like that. Like, I know enough about it, and the whole da 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 boom 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 boom, and the chimpanzees and the monolith. So I know enough to be dangerous. But I know eventually I will take a step forward into that larger world. Speaking of larger world, it is we're about 5 minutes shy of an hour, which is great. Like I say, I always like to do these things like for at least a half hour, trying to get in the pattern, trying to do it in the evening time for me. it's difficult to nail down an exact time right now with what I'm doing with Intel. But yeah, I'm very happy to keep doing this. This is always a wonderful conversation to have with fellow Star Wars fans, no matter what kind of fan you are. So thank you for being there on whatever platform you're watching this on. I appreciate the follows and what have you, because it makes it easier to broadcast fun things to fellow fans and to have great conversations with depth. Have I watched Seven Samurai? That's another one I need to. It's Kurosawa. I know. These are things that I know I need to do. It just, the opportunity never seems to present itself. I know I need to, because I know it inspired Lucas's vision. I know. You love that I'm doing these Star Wars talks. Thank you, Salad Von Bako, and I know you've been a fan for a long period of time. I'm talking about stuff I want to talk about, and I want to expand the conversation to talk with other people who like talking about this stuff. So that's the idea. Hang on. 3D printing with Heath said, oh, I'm sorry. Watch it alone, no one is around, and it will change you forever. Oh, man. Okay, that's scary for 2001. I uploaded the Gold Vader, but the Rainbow Vader, I send you the making video, maybe an unboxing and show the making. Oh, yeah, it's true. And my cinema ticket. I actually put the protective case. What? Wait, hang on. Which cinema ticket, John? Super Awesome Geek Show? Oh, the Phantom. I knew the theater manager, so I have the entire Phantom trailer. Real? Oh, wow. That's cool. I was missing this little sub-dialogue here. You were in New York when Phantom came out. Camped at the theater. 7 day long. I did not wait that long. I waited like an hour, and I still got in. So, I made it. I saw the first run of it. Let's see here. So, let's see here. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Stephen Gano says, if you leave tonight, check out my channel. It's Stephen Gano. I'd appreciate it. Big time Star Wars fan. Well, as I pointed out in a recent broadcast, this is all about kind of connecting fellow Star Wars fans with each other. So happy to kind of help share that promotion. It's what I enjoy doing, right? Because there are a lot of creators out there, who may not be, as prevalent as others, but are still talking and sharing their experiences and perspectives. Their little bits of fandom. And so, yeah, happy to. Originally, by the way, that comment was flagged, but I let it go through. Sorry, I'm trying to get something that fell. I have one of those boogie boards, and I use these styluses that I got for like $1 at a thrifting shop. But have you ever seen these boogie boards? The Jedi sometimes like scribbling on them, right? You can take notes, blah, 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 and you press the button. It erases, and then you start over again. And for some reason, these things keep. I've got I think they're Nintendo DS styluses. 3D DS. Yeah, DS styluses. I think. So thank you everybody for tuning in. As I mentioned, trying to do this every night. Good to see everybody. I will be doing it again tomorrow. I don't have anything that I know of tomorrow evening, and tomorrow's Friday. So feel free to stop by. Celebration tickets tomorrow. I gotta remind, I don't have any plans to get any. I can't. As much as I want to, I can't plan that. As much as I need to plan that far ahead, I can't plan that far ahead. Not right now. Maybe at some point in the future. Maybe I'll luck into it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you always. You didn't break the rules.